Before we begin the video, if you haven't yet, come on down and join my Discord server. Link is down in the description. The final battle is one of the most climactic moments in Ninjago, and in my opinion, one of the best things to come from the series. But if we look at it through the lens of tactics and strategy, there are a lot of issues. Let's dissect all of the mistakes made by both sides in the final battle. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for another Ninjago video. So just a few stuff to explain before we begin. When you first saw the video, you were probably expecting something like cinema sins, but this video is going to be different. We're not actually talking about these scenes and the characters, but rather the actual fighting itself and the errors made on both sides. Now obviously in the big picture, Ninjago is a kids show, so they're not gonna, that is, the creators are not gonna really be thinking about strategy and addressing all of these smaller stuff. Call it nitpicking if you will, but I think it's gonna be pretty cool to view this battle in a different way. Now the first big issue with this battle comes from the Overlord and Garmadon, and that would be the placement of the Stone Army on the island. So to illustrate it, I've drawn this wonderful picture. So the idea here is that the Stone Army is heavily concentrated around Garmatron. So the black dot is Garmatron, the red dots are the Stone Army, and then meanwhile Garmadon sends Evil Nia, who is purple, to distract the ninja. Now the reason this idea sucks is because it heavily underestimates the ninja. Remember that there are 8 of them, the 5 ninja, Wu Misako, and potentially Dr. Julian, who could have come. And so the island is really open for them to roam. A corrupted Nia is not going to be enough to stop 8 people, and so what actually happens is that you have some of them fighting Evil Nia, so it does succeed in that sense that it divides the ninja team, but still 3 of them actually make it to Garmatron. Garmadon knows very well that the ninja are pretty persistent and they never give up, so to just leave Evil Nia, considering they've faced even greater obstacles, is really a dumb move on his part. Now the idea here is that Garmadon wants to have an upper hand if the ninja do reach Garmatron, but I think it would be better to prevent the fight from happening in the first place. And to achieve this, I'm going to scatter the Stone Army. The downside is that Garmatron is not as heavily defended anymore, but I think the strategy is better because now the island isn't just open territory for the ninja anymore. They're gonna have to fight some Stone Army warriors, and while this is happening, this is the perfect time for Garmadon to start loading the Garmatron. This placement makes it much harder for the ninja to mobilize, so I think this would definitely work to their advantage. Now next, I don't know why Garmadon didn't know how to use the super weapon. Now after he's done monologuing, Garmadon actually finds out the hard way that Garmatron has to warm up. I know that this is a really minor issue, but again, it's kind of a facepalm moment that the Overlord didn't really tell him that there is a warm up. I also feel like the Overlord should have fired at Ninjago City first. The city is densely populated and also is home to a lot of the ninja's allies as well. It would have been a great way to take them by surprise and really eliminate any help that the ninja could have received. And because the city is so densely populated, it would have been a great way to corrupt a bunch of people at once by using less resources. But instead, the Overlord chooses to aim at some random towns, and really he could have done better. Anyways, Garmatron is equipped with a bunch of weapons, and one thing, as you can see in this image, is that it actually does have guns, and these guns are heavily underutilized. When the main fighting breaks out after Garmadon has been possessed, the ninjas start fighting the Stone Army and are doing surprisingly well. If someone was using the guns and firing at the ninja, I think it definitely would have made them less productive. Now we get to the main face-off between Lloyd and the Overlord, and this is one of my favorite moments of the entire series. The music, the tension, it really does feel like the ultimate climax. Unfortunately, there are a few things we have to pick apart. One thing that's always irked me about this fight is that during the battle, both the Stone Army and the ninja, they're both guilty of just standing there watching the fight and ultimately doing nothing. When it becomes apparent that Lloyd is going to lose the battle, that is when the ninja should have jumped in and tried to draw the fire away from the Overlord. And at this point, forget Destiny. Lloyd is their good friend and he's about to get beaten badly by the Overlord, maybe even killed. And I feel like the ninja could have jumped in to try and save Lloyd, that way to avoid any injury or consequence, and it's not like the fight is over. I mean, they'd still have a chance to continue the battle another day. As for the Stone Army, I feel like they should have been fighting the 4 ninja, Wu and Misako. This would have weakened them and made it impossible for them to do anything else. In the end though, both sides just sit there and do nothing, leaving all the fighting for Lloyd and the Overlord. Especially for the ninja, this was a stupid move. Now the next flaw goes to the Overlord. When he does gain the upper hand and picks up Lloyd in that weird purple thing, he throws him onto the ground pretty far away, which actually does break his leg, so there's a point, but I feel like he definitely could have done better. I mean, it's not like they're next to an ocean or anything. Oh wait, they are. So if I were the Overlord, I'd pick Lloyd up, slam him into the ground, break his leg, and then fling him into the ocean so he drowns. And I'd say the biggest mistake the Stone Army makes is that they underestimate the ninja, and this seems to be something pretty much every villain is guilty of. What the Overlord does next is even dumber. He decides to make a big show by trying to kill Lloyd with a missile, but really he could have just gone down there and killed him himself, or sent a stone warrior. It's unbelievably stupid that the Overlord lets the person who is prophesized to defeat him live. If he had just went down there and killed Lloyd, it would have been over, and it's not like the ninja really could have done much. They were already very weakened. And it definitely shows how overconfident confident and arrogant the Overlord can be. And my last big issue is while the Overlord is monologuing and opening the portal, the ninjas just sit there and do nothing, which seems to be a recurring trend. I mean, I get that they're weakened, but they're very clearly watching this and they know what's going on, they're not dumb. Kai at the last minute tries to make a run for it and enter the portal, but at that point it's too late, so I'm just sitting here wondering why they didn't try to do that earlier. And with that ends the first part of the final battle. Although Lloyd is defeated, they haven't lost the battle, they've only lost the fight. Hope still remains and it ends up powering them to victory. Stay tuned for part 2 coming next weekend, in which we talk about the events of episode 26. Thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, share with anyone and everyone you know. Let me know what you guys thought of this video, if there's anything you disagree with, and anything you might want to add to this list, and I will see you next time.